Well, it's another beautiful day to talk Disney parks. We are so glad that you're here. Hey, if you would like to win yourself your very own Kingdom Report mug, because we do reward you for watching or listening to this broadcast, all you got to do is leave the phrase that pays in the comment section underneath this video right after the live show is over. Head on into the comment section at the Kingdom Report on YouTube beneath this video, and once the live show is done, leave the phrase that pays this week. Phrase that pays this week is Disney Family. Disney Family is the phrase that pays this week. You have between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time in which to enter. If you are the winner, we will reach out to you and get that mug shipped your direction for entering Disney Family in the comment section after the show. And on today's broadcast, the holidays are coming back to the Disneyland Resort, and we've got all the details for you. Plus, some new updates when it comes to Disney dining reservation changes, at least on the IT front from coast to coast. Two familiar faces have returned to consult at the Walt Disney Company, one of which happens to be the guy they almost went with to be the CEO a couple years ago. And the Pixar Place Hotel finally receiving some pool upgrades to better reflect the fact that it wants to be the Pixar Place. Of course, we will talk about it. And the perfect Disneyland Resort day. What does it consist of? The team is here to share their thoughts. Tyler and Katrina are out on vacation in Walt Disney World, but we have a special guest with us today, along with reporter Garrett Hassel. I'm your host, Wade Heath, and Kingdom Report Live starts for you in 50 seconds.
Looking for some digital magic to help you through your week? The Kingdom Report is here for you, covering the latest Disneyland and Disney World news, experiences, and events. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Kingdom Report Live so you never miss an update. And drop a subscribe on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel for new videos every week. Don't miss out. Join this growing community of theme park fans as we aim to connect you to more of what makes you happy. For more information, visit kingdomreportlive.com. And now, back to the magic.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Kingdom Report Live is on, and we take that look outside like we always do. Space Mountain in the distance via the HojoAnaheim.com Mattercam. Things are looking good out there on another sizzling Saturday as we kick off a weekend full of magic. And we are so glad you could join us. Your Disney family is here. I am your host, Wade Heath, coming to you from the Warner Brothers Studios Media District here in beautiful Burbank, California, where you, my friends, are in for a treat, because we have all kinds of Disney news to talk about, in addition to several topics that might just help you prepare well for your next Disney trip. And I want to encourage you, if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button, maybe a little thumbs up. That always helps too. And in addition to that, yes, we are a podcast. You can take us on the go, audio form, if you so choose. Anywhere you get your podcasts, check out Kingdom Report Live. And when I talk about a Disney family, I do mean a Disney family. Unfortunately, Tyler and Katrina are not here this week. They are on vacation. Katrina's big birthday adventure, as it is known. They're out in Walt Disney World this week enjoying themselves. Follow along at Kingdom Report Live on social media. They are sharing their trip as they go. You do not want to miss it. But as always a part of this family, we do have our golden goose, Garrett Hassel, our famed reporter, standing by. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too, Wade. And I brought my good, faithful kitty Tigger here. He does love to jump a little bit. He's got a little spring in his tail. And I actually got this at Disneyland several years ago. He has survived many adventures. So Tigger's along for the ride, and he matches my orange mug too.
Oh my. Jump around, Tigger. Jump around. There he goes. Whoa. See you, Tigger. All right. Well,
He
thanks for
jumps off the
stopping by.
pages just like in Winnie the Pooh.
Evidently, yeah. Well, so I'm glad he could bring his energy to the show, and somebody else bringing their energy to the show for the first time. Taylor Kowalczyk is an artist and somebody who I've known for quite a long time within the Disney ether, and she is joining us here today to talk all things Disney parks and beyond. Great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm so thrilled that you could make your way on in and share some of the brightest and the best of what it means to be a Disney fan. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do we need to know about Taylor Kowalczyk and who you are, what you bring to the table?
So, my name is Taylor Kowalczyk. I am an artist. I have a degree in animation, which is amazing. You know, I love the animation world, love Disney. I have been a cast member back in 2011. And honestly, I'm a pass holder. Literally, I live for Disney.
You live for it.
All things Disney.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lovely, life to live.
It is a lovely life to live. And that degree in animation and going the direction of animation, what inspired you to choose that as sort of a realm you wanted to explore?
You know, I've always loved, Walt Disney and the work that he did. So I tried to figure out ways like, how could I, bring that passion into what I do? So I just said, you know what? Animation would be a great way to create every art piece that I do. Like, I can make my art come to life. I can do fun things with it, bring character to it. So that's what got me into it. And also, one of my dreams is to be in the Disney Gallery. So one day, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm working hard to it. I'm almost there, I think. But yeah, one day I'll get there.
I feel it too. Wow. Pixie dust through the air. Can you feel it, Garrett?
I can. First, I noticed you have a little pin on there. Who is you? What's your Disney name? Oh, you got lots of pins.
I've
I'm talking
got
about the
a ton of
Disney
pins.
name tag. The Disney name tag.
Yeah, I actually have, I don't know if you can see it, but on my back.
Oh, that
On your
is
back.
so dope.
Is that a Hatbox Ghost Mickey patch back there?
There is.
I
These
love
are
it.
actually patches that I designed. So I have a Hatbox Ghost Mickey and then a bunch of the witches and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
yeah.
that's so cool.
So I've got fun things so that you can rock them around when you're at Disneyland. Just rock out your geek side, I guess.
I need some. I'll just put patches all over all my different
Right?
stuff.
Why not?
Yeah.
Quite the
I just
skill.
saw Haunted Mansion, so the Hatbox Ghost definitely very fitting.
I actually have a new patch that is coming out that is the Hitchhiking Ghosts. So that one is coming out, I think, probably at the end of the month. I'll have that out. So,
Oh, awesome.
So look out for that one. Yeah.
On its way.
On its
Very
way.
good. Where can people find out more about you and your art?
So my art is Higgitus Figgitus. That's my actual company name. I have an Etsy shop that if you go to my Instagram, you can see the Etsy shop at the, basically right under my story in my bio. And you can go and look at all the stuff that I post, all of the things I have for sale. And if you want to do commission pieces with me, I do that as well. So just you can shout me out.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again for joining us. And I think in honor of our guest being here, Garrett, it's only appropriate that the show toast go to her.
That does make sense. That does make sense.
Absolutely. So if you are watching at home, grab yourself a cup of something magical. Raise it like so as we toast to a new show. Taylor, who or what are we toasting to today?
I would say we should toast to the Foodie Guide. I love the Disney blog that it comes out, every so often for events. It always gets you excited about, what's going to happen at the park. Kind of makes you plan your day around the food that you want to eat.
Certainly.
So I say cheers to the Foodie Guide.
To all things
Cheers.
good foodie.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Big toast.
Huzzah.
Delicious. And
That's good hot cocoa.
Oh, you got some hot cocoa?
It's only like 88 degrees, so I figure hot cocoa is nice and chill.
It'll keep you
The
cool.
weather.
Yeah. Certainly tempered to the experience, that's for sure. And who doesn't love a good foodie guide?
True.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of food and so much more when it comes to the Disney parks and the Walt Disney Company, we've got you covered. Let's get you caught up on your Disney news headlines. Disney News Review time. Take a look at some of the biggest stories from across the Walt Disney Company in the past week. Starting at the Disneyland Resort, LA Times reporting Paradise Pier Hotel's long-awaited Finding Nemo and Finding Dory-themed slide and splash pad opened this past Tuesday as the venue continues its transition toward becoming the nation's first Pixar-themed hotel. Pool patrons can climb 3 flights of blue stairs to find Crush, the iconic green surfing sea turtle from the Finding Nemo movie, directing them to an aquamarine slide. The 186-foot-long chute curves around island-like foliage and palm trees before dumping ride-goers into a Dory-themed pixel pool that includes an underwater painting of Hank the Septipus. While Disney officials said there are no age or height requirements for the slide, guests must be able to step in and out on their own. There's also a 1,200-square-foot pop jet splash pad for children that shoots up funnels of water located in the adjacent Nemo's Cove. Cabanas, daybeds, and bungalows that surround the pool are available for rent on a first-come, first-served basis until the hotel begins taking reservations. The pool capacity near the slide is 45, while the third-floor pool can accommodate up to 589 people at once, according to Disney officials. The latest additions are part of the hotel's evolution into Pixar Place, which is set to open this fall. A new lobby, game areas, and restaurant are some of the changes on deck for the 15-story hotel. And over at the Disneyland Hotel, despite its marquee still being up, Steakhouse 55 for 2 years has sat empty in the Disneyland Hotel. This week, Disney officials confirmed to SF Gate that a replacement is underway, and instead of a sit-down restaurant, the former Steakhouse 55 space is slated to become a lounge. The lounge will occasionally offer additional seasonal seating during especially busy times in the park. The area will also be getting a new look. A Disneyland spokesperson said the revamp will be in line with the brighter color scheme of Disneyland's hotel lobby. This will be the first time in decades that a steakhouse hasn't occupied a sit-down spot in the resort's flagship hotel. Steakhouse 55 opened in 2006, replacing another steakhouse that had been in the hotel since the 1980s. There is no official reopening date or new name for the lounge just yet. And news out of Walt Disney Corporate, Tom Staggs and Kevin Mayer, 2 former high-ranking Disney execs, are working for the Mouse House once again in a consulting capacity. The duo, who are the 2 co-CEOs of media roll-up play Candle Media, have been retained by Disney to help analyze and develop strategic options for ESPN, according to 2 sources familiar with the arrangement. Staggs, former Disney Chief Operating Officer, and Mayer, previously chairman of Disney's Direct-to-Consumer and International, and briefly CEO of TikTok, will work with Jimmy Pitaro, chairman of ESPN and Sports Content, on developing a plan for what Disney will do with ESPN going forward. Sources noted that Staggs and Mayer will retain their roles at Candle Media. The news comes on the heels of Disney CEO Bob Iger's comments in a July CNBC interview that the company was looking for a strategic partner for ESPN. Subsequently, CNBC reported that Disney has had talks with the NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball about becoming minority investors in ESPN. Today.com reports that Disney World and Disneyland have announced this past week the parks will be rolling out dining reservation enhancements to simplify planning and make the guest experience more convenient so guests can spend more time enjoying their visits. In the coming weeks, Disney World and Disneyland websites as well as mobile apps will show guests all reservation slots that are available to them for their selected restaurant or dining location. Currently, people can only see a few available slots that fit their selected time frame. Additionally, reservations will be sorted by meal period so that guests can see which menu is being served during the time of their reservation. Once on the updated version, when they pick a time like 4 p.m., they will see if either lunch or dinner is being provided. And that's not all. Made reservations but need to cancel last minute? Disneyland and Disney World recently expanded the window to cancel dining reservations from 24 hours before the scheduled reservation to 2 hours before the reserved time at most locations for greater flexibility. They also improved mobile ordering service to make it easier to find available nearby dining options. The latest news comes months after Disney World Resort in Florida was bringing back the Disney Quick Service Dining Plan and the Disney Dining Plan on January 9th, 2024. And finally, the Orange County Register reports that Disneyland is already making plans for the holiday season in the middle of summer that will fill the Anaheim theme park this winter with seasonal parades, ride overlays, Santa visits, food, and decor complete with Christmas trees, faux snow, and shimmering icicles. The winter holiday season returns to Disneyland, Disney California Adventure, Downtown Disney, and the 3 Disney Resort hotels from November 10th through January 7th. And certainly with the holidays coming to the Disneyland Resort this year, we are so pumped to see a lot of what we've come to love about the holiday season return. The Orange County Register mentioning that seasonal decor will fill California Adventure with a 50-foot tall Christmas tree on Buena Vista Street, automotive-themed bunting in Cars Land, holiday attraction overlays in Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters and Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. And don't forget, the World of Color Season of Light is coming back, the nighttime spectacular, returning to California Adventure once again this year. Viva Navi Dodd Street Party in Paradise Gardens will feature a whole bunch of samba dancers, mariachis, percussionists, and beyond. And don't forget Mickey's Happy Holidays character procession along the DCA parade route and the Disney Festival of Holidays coming back with all the good food, that's for sure. And no doubt everybody's excited to see Sleeping Beauty's Winter Castle back again for another holiday run, as well as a Christmas Fantasy Parade, the parade that never ends and will always be around. And of course, Believe in Holiday Magic Fireworks also returning again this year, as well as It's a Small World Holiday, and of course, Haunted Mansion Holiday about to join the ranks of the magic once again out west. And Taylor, with all the holiday cheer coming back to us starting November 10th, what are a few of the things you go out of your way for to make the most of Christmas time at the Disneyland Resort?
Ooh, I'd have to say Haunted Mansion Holiday for sure is a number one I have to go to.
Yeah.
I concur.
You concur, right? It is one of the best things about Disney during the holidays is just you smell the gingerbread like during that one scene, and it's magical. But I would definitely say the Fantasy Parade, the parade that never ends, that we always go back for every year. The toy soldiers are my absolute favorite. So I run out of my way to make sure that I see them every Christmas, every holiday season. They're just so magical. They give you that feeling, that the holidays are here. So
I do enjoy myself a good procession down Main Street, especially when they've got their little drums.
Yeah.
Right? It's you're right. It sort of ushers in that feeling
kind
of
a nostalgic feeling, of like,
absolutely.
You feel everything coming back.
If
great.
you have the chance to replace the Christmas Fantasy Parade with a new Christmas parade, would you?
I feel like you could retheme it. I feel like you could probably bring in something that maybe is current with the times that are happening right now, like maybe the new movies and stuff. Maybe bring in the characters that are involved in cartoon, like the shows or movies or even on stage. You could probably do something like that. But I would kind of keep the soldiers for sure. I don't think they should leave.
Oh, no.
The reindeer or Santa. I mean, that's the three main things that parade should probably keep.
A given.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. I know that it's something that I feel we talk about year after year here is the Christmas Fantasy Parade. I feel like it's been around forever. And yes, there's a great degree of nostalgia that comes along with it. I think that's probably why it sticks around. It's a family event for generations to come see the Christmas Fantasy Parade. But it is the parade, especially for those of us that work there, that know it doesn't stop. That is
That is true.
That parade stretches like the entire length of the parade route. You can't cross the park for hours a day because
You're
that
stuck.
baby doesn't go anywhere. It's just sitting there on that parade route for hours at a time. And I know that there's been discussion on this show before about should a Christmas Fantasy Parade still be what it is? Should it be altered? Should it be shorter? Should it be something that is rethemed? And I think you raise a great point. Yes, retheming it is probably one of the best things that could possibly be done. Keeping the spirit of it all. Keep the title too. That's fine. Keep the sort of key cornerstones that make up the parade, but then perhaps add a little something extra. Maybe bring some of those newer characters in. What do you think, Garrett?
Yeah, I haven't seen this thing in person in several years, but from the videos I've seen, it is a long show, and I think it's better than the Walt Disney World. I know I'm the Walt Disney World guy, but I think Disneyland Park does a better holiday Christmas celebration than Magic Kingdom does. I think with Disneyland, it's a lot more intimate setting. The castle's not as big. It feels a lot more personable, and it's just easier to, add pieces to the park. I think the parade, absolutely. Bring in some of the new characters, bring in some of the new elements. But I don't think you completely scrap it and put in something else. If it's a classic, Disney isn't known for really keeping things of the past. Usually Disneyland is like, all right, we have a new fireworks show coming in this year. While Disney World, they hold on to it for decades. Wishes was there 10 plus years.
It's not a museum.
And, yeah. No, Disneyland, it keeps the ball rolling. Walt said, as long as Disneyland's never complete, yeah, that's true. Disneyland never ends. So, add some new elements. I don't think you need to add something like Marvel because I think that fits over at DCA just fine. But you can bring in, Luca or Turning Red or something else like that. Even I don't know how you fit the new Haunted Mansion in, but Muppets. Bring in the Muppets Christmas Carol.
More
I know that's a
Muppets
fan favorite. I
always.
know that's a favorite of yours and mine, Wade. Taylor, I'm going to
I
assume
love
you
the
like
Muppets,
as well.
so I'm with you.
Who doesn't love the Muppets?
Yes.
Yeah, more
I
Muppets
say-
always.
Mr. Humbug, Mr. Scrooge, like just give us Michael Caine as Scrooge in the parade. I don't know. We just pay him a good contract, have him do like one parade, and
Just one.
everything comes true. Yeah. But Muppets Christmas, I think that can be added to it, and at least we'll appreciate it here, the three of us.
Absolutely.
I would appreciate it, yes,
Yes.
very much so.
Yeah.
Absolutely, too. And I think that with the holiday season returning to us November 10th, there are so many great things to look forward to. No doubt that Viva Navidad over at California Adventure continues to command year after year record crowds because the burst of energy you get from that celebration is extraordinary. One of the best processions, I think, in any Disney park anywhere, and really hits home with sort of the Hispanic culture overall here in Southern California.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. And on top of that, the banger known as Mickey's Happy Holiday. Can I tell you, that theme song that they play over and over as he walks with a bunch of his friends, that will live in your head for months after Christmas.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever heard this song, and now I feel like I'm going to. I have to listen to it because if I don't, like, I need to know what this sound is, so that way it can play in my head. Because well, like around Halloween time, which is for Disney starts in July. Honestly, you just hear the "Boo to you, and you," like the "Boo to you" song.
Yeah.
You and you, like that's stuck in your head for months. So I need to get the Christmas stuff going in now because it's never too early for Christmas, right?
Never.
Christmas in July or August now. That's right. Yes, it's all downhill from here. Everybody hold on. We're on our way. In addition to the news of holiday seasons returning to the Disneyland Resort, we also have some great news by way of the Disney dining reservation system. It's changing. How is it changing? Well, now there is a bit of an IT upgrade in terms of how things look when you make these reservations via your computer or your app. As mentioned in the news stories today, that is something that many people seem to be celebrating. However, Garrett, we ask you, Mr. Walt Disney World, this is a bi-coastal change, so it's happening both at Disneyland and Disney World. Do you think this simple change matters more on one coast over the other? And I guess, what do you like or dislike about the news?
I think it matters more to the East Coasters at Walt Disney World than it does at Disneyland. Disney World, you've got 4 parks, 20 plus resorts, you've got Disney Springs. There is just an enormous amount of restaurants and reservations that, you know what? In a way, it's almost more challenging to get a dining reservation at certain restaurants than it is to get, a fast pass or get in the virtual queue for Tron, the newest, hottest attraction. So I think this is a major upgrade because, as you see in the pictures, you've got okay, do you want breakfast? Do you want brunch? Do you want lunch? Do you want dinner? Do you want second breakfast? Do you want Tuesdays and all that other
Second
stuff?
breakfast.
And then you have the times. I like how I can see every option now because I don't have to do the bouncing around because there are times where I'm like, hey, no, I want to go to Actresses or Viennapoli and Epcot. And I'm clicking around and I'll click one time, it'll be open. Then I'll click another time and then that time disappears. And it's just this wild guessing game of randomness to the point where I'm about to start bribing cast members to be like, hey, let me eat at 7:30 here.
In.
So I think also the design of it, the color scheme, it's nice. It's got the purple and gold banner at the top that just adds a little pop to the screen. So I think it's an overall improvement. The ability to allow guests to see more of what the options are is definitely better because when you give people more options, it can be hit or miss. But I think when it comes to dining, you don't have to bounce around. You can just see everything that's there instead of this back and forth guessing game. And I'm sure it's just like any Disney app. It's not going to be perfect forever, or it's not going to be perfect at all. But it's better to have something nice than it is to have what it was. So I'm all for it. It looks good. I haven't gotten to test it yet in the parks, but I'm looking forward to it. So I think that they got it right. Who knows? But it looks good at least on paper and on web screen. So
Looks like they
I'm
might have
for
it right. Absolutely. I feel
It
the same
looks
way.
like it. Yeah. Fingers crossed. But it looks good. But Disney World's definitely the win. Disneyland has its fair share of dining, but it's
not as
a
big.
quarter, honestly, of what Disney World has. So it's going to make things a lot easier down at Walt Disney World, especially if I'm trying to get some Viennapoli, because that pizza is bomb.
You do love your Viennapoli. Yeah, it's
I do.
Disney dining in general is such an event at Walt Disney World. Such a big planning event for families and for folks that it's very difficult to try and just drop in for dinner one day.
Yeah.
You really do have to map it out, and it's certainly something
It's no Applebee's.
it's no
Applebee's.
Applebee's, right? Yeah, it's I need my mozzarella sticks and my apps. And I can't just drop in and get them,
No.
right?
No.
It's difficult
plan
when you
it
go to
out,
Disney World.
yeah.
You got to map it all out. That's for sure. It's great to see that. I feel like this is one of those decisions where it's like, what took so long?
I know.
How long did we need to hear complaints about this sort of a thing before they just? It seems like a pretty simple fix
Yeah.
because it's like a light switch here.
It's literally just an upgrade. That's it.
Yeah, new skin and more time slots to look at. Which, thank you for listening.
It's more user friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more user friendly. So great to see that, and hopefully going to make your Disney dining adventure much more pleasurable. And that way you can book it all out quickly and not have to worry so much about where you are going to be dining at, and if you can get in, especially to those more hot ticket locations, your Cinderella's Royal Table.
Or T-Rex, Tyler's favorite.
I don't think anybody's worried about getting in there. Well,
Actually,
T-Rex Cafe.
I think T-Rex kind of sometimes gets a little packed because people don't know how horrible it is.
It is a kid favorite, that's for sure. So, I think about if I was 5 years old, I would totally want to eat.
Oh,
in there.
absolutely.
Place looks awesome. Yeah. Please, asteroid strike, hit me. Yeah. That's me as an adult. Asteroid strike, hit me, please. I can't handle this noise anymore.
$45 for
T-Rex.
chicken tenders.
All right.
Water, $3.
It's a bit much. As we've learned from Tyler and Katrina in recent weeks, go to Rainforest Cafe over T-Rex Cafe. Only if you have to, though. Make that your other option. But that's if you have to. There are a lot of great places to go at Disney Springs.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many more.
So many more. But definitely a cool spot if you're a child.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Well, very good. Disney dining getting an enhancement finally for at least the IT end of things and being able to manipulate and run your various reservation times. So hopefully this will make everything a little bit easier on you the next time you plan a Walt Disney World or Disneyland trip. All right. I'm feeling like I'm in the mood for some Disney trivia.
Oh, no.
Let's do it.
Oh, gosh. It's going to go great like every week where I lose.
Well, that's the spirit. Here we are for Disney trivia. Our Disney Trivia Minute this week is going to be a family affair, as it usually is. We have our reporter, Garrett Hassel, standing by, our guest host and artist Taylor Kowalczyk, and off camera producer Tony hanging out with us. If you are watching live or a part of our chat, we invite you to drop your guesses for the Disney Trivia Minute on in, and let's play. First up, our question is: which theatrically released cartoon did Mickey Mouse make his return in after a 30-year break? Once again, which theatrically released cartoon did Mickey Mouse make his return in after a 30-year break? Was it A, The Prince and the Pauper, B, Plutopia, or C, Mickey's Christmas Carol? Taylor, you have a degree in animation. I would hope you'd know this.
I figured you were going to throw that at me. I had that feeling.
Thank goodness, because I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm just going to...
We're used to that, Garrett.
As long as her thought process is more straight line than Katrina's Maze of Madness,
That's true.
I think I might go Taylor's direction.
Katrina
gosh.
Katrina
I just-
opens up a thesis each week as to how to get to the answer for one of these. So, yes, I'm sure we're all looking forward to this.
That's a lot of pressure. So I would say 30 years. I want to go with C, because I'm thinking that The Prince and the Pauper came out in like mid 90s. So A Christmas Carol came out, I think, like early 90s, if I'm not mistaken. I'm kind of drawing a blank on Plutopia. I don't know if I've seen that.
I don't know
one,
Plutopia
right?
either.
I'm like, what is that? But I could be wrong. But my gut is going with C. So
Okay.
we'll see.
We'll see for C. Mickey's Christmas Carol. Garrett, what do you have?
Yeah.
Prince and the Pauper, A, Plutopia, B, or Mickey's Christmas Carol, C. Which theatrically released cartoon did Mickey Mouse make his return in after a 30-year break?
So theatrical is the keyword. Plutopia, I'm sure it sounds hot. It's the hottest club in Toontown, where
This
all
club
my
has
dogs
everything.
come in.
Everything.
It does. It's got Bones and Mickey Mouse, and what's not to love about that. But
What's not to love?
Prince and the Pauper doesn't really sound off. I want to go Mickey's Christmas Carol because I've seen it. It's a great one. It's wonderful. You got the harmonica. Such a good story. So I'm going to lock in C, Regis.
Mickey's
or
Christmas Carol. Locking it in. No lifeline. Can't go back.
I can't
No
see the
Gibbsy
chat, so I
backsies.
can't-
Right.
Yeah, I can't phone a friend right now.
No phoning a
Dang.
friend. None of that. Producer Tony, what do you got? Prince and the Pauper, Plutopia, Mickey's Christmas Carol.
I think I'm going to go with...
Oh, Donald.
Did you get that?
I don't know what he said.
I-
I never know what he says.
no.
I'm going to go with A.
A, the Prince and the Pauper.
Yeah, just because.
Well,
Just
I know
goes.
Tony won because
I
he
think-
always wins.
People in chat also saying C, Mickey's Christmas Carol. I got a message here from my homestead also saying C. Thank you, parentals, who happen to be tuned in. The correct answer for which theatrically released cartoon did Mickey Mouse make his return in after a 30-year break is... Garrett, the streak is over. Mickey's Christmas Carol. Congratulations.
Yes, I'm such a winner. Oh, Taylor, you come on the show every week.
Let's do it. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I would love it.
I feel like such a winner. I'd like to thank my parents.
You're a wiener.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
You've done it. You've done it, bud. The streak is over. You can only be a loser for so long. And now, that sweet, sweet smell of victory. Congratulations.
It smells like cinnamon rolls.
It does. Absolutely. Well, let's try your hand at it again. Question 2 for today's Disney Trivia Minute. Which Pixar film was the first to win an Academy Award for Best Animated Feature? Was it A, Toy Story 2, B, Finding Nemo, or C, Wall-E? Garrett, we're going to start with you first this time.
I was gonna go with Beauty and the Beast, but that's not Pixar.
It's Pixar. Yeah.
I love Wall-E. Wall-E's a great story.
Yeah, you
about
do.
How the robots uprise and make beautiful trash cities. So I don't think it's Wall-E. Finding Nemo, fantastic soundtrack, and it's just great overall. Toy Story 2, a classic hit with a man in a chicken suit, and then you learn who Bullseye is and Jesse, and then you got Stinky Pete, and we don't like that guy.
Stinky Pete.
Yeah, like the prospector. I want to go Toy Story 2 because the story of how it almost got completely deleted, save for a very great animator who saved it, who backed it up on her home computer. Toy Story 2 sounds solid for me. I love it because it just has that opening sequence and where like Andy's imagining the world. So I'm going to go Toy Story 2.
Interesting reasoning. All right. Taylor.
Yeah, made no sense whatsoever.
That's okay. Which Pixar film, rather, was the first to win an Academy Award for Best Animated Feature? Toy Story 2, Finding Nemo, or Wall-E?
This is tough.
I know.
Oh my gosh. I kind of want to say Toy Story 2 as well, but I'm like trying to figure out when Nemo came out. But I don't think Nemo won an award. I'm going to go with A.
Toy Story 2.
I think so.
That's
Bolted.
right. We stick
yeah,
together,
I think
Taylor.
let's stick together.
Wow.
Yeah, we ride or die. Bad people for life.
Exactly.
That's what family's all about.
Family.
Yes.
It's family.
Ohana, baby.
Off screen, producer Tony, what do you got for us? Toy Story 2, Finding Nemo, WALL-E, for which Pixar film was the first to win an Academy Award for Best Animated Feature?
Well, Wally ain't no wiener.
That's true.
So, and I'm not going to. I went with Taylor last time, and she proved me wrong. So I'm gonna go with Finding Nemo, number B.
Finding Nemo, it
Number B.
is.
Number B.
Number B. That's right. David in chat saying C as well. Looks like B from the homestead here. And ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer for which Pixar film was the first to win an Academy Award for Best Animated Feature is... Garrett, your streak has begun again. Taylor, you're out of luck, but Tony is the winner. Finding Nemo.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you, everybody. Hold the
Good
applause.
job, Tony. Proud of you, bud.
Good job.
Thank you.
Tony nails it once again. He's back on his streak now, hopefully, and it will continue from here on out. And
I need
you
to get,
stick
like, a
around.
tattoo of how many I get right and wrong. 'Cause it's
Oh,
gonna be a
my.
very long, wrong list.
That's like a CVS receipt right there. Whoa. Goes on for miles, bud.
Arm to arm, baby.
Arm to arm. That's right. Well, thank you for playing along with the Disney Trivia Minute. We encourage you all to get more trivia in your life. It makes things a lot easier, unless you're Garrett. And you stick around. More Kingdom Report Live for you next. Time for the Disney List. Taking a look at some of the best from across the Walt Disney Company and listing them out for you this week. It is all about the best day ever, how to make the most of one day only at the Disneyland Resort. Say you only have one day to visit a place like the Disneyland Resort. You got 2 theme parks, 3 resort hotels, a downtown Disney district in between. How do you spend your time if you only got one day to do so? We know that some people fall into this trap, unfortunately. Usually, if somebody has business in the area, or maybe you're trying to make the most of a visit to Southern California and you've got a lot of different places that you're going and can only squeeze in one day for Disneyland. What are you going to do? Say you get a park hopper ticket. Say, I don't know, you're going to try to make the most with experiencing everything that the resort has to offer. What do you do? We are here to talk about it and share our tips. We are going to be joined today by Taylor Kowalczyk, Garrett Hassel, to share their thoughts on how they're going to spend the best day ever at the Disneyland Resort. If you only got one day, Taylor, what are you going to do?
Well, be at the rope drop, of course.
Rope
be
drop,
there
you say?
First thing in the morning. And, get up early, get some coffee before you get to the resort. Go as soon as that music plays that says, "Welcome to Disneyland."
Oh, my.
Oh, it's so magical. Then what I do, I honestly would go directly to Adventureland. Go knock out
Smart
Indiana
choice.
Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion. Do all the classic rides first, and then make your way over to, let's say, Thunder Mountain. Maybe look to see if you can get the Genie Plus for Rise of the Resistance, because that line gets ridiculously long. So I don't think anybody wants to wait an hour to maybe 2 hours for that ride. But it's magical.
You
It is
got
amazing.
one day. You don't have time to wait in line.
Exactly. So I try to do that, and then I kind of save Fantasyland for towards the end of the day.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, just because all the kids and parents are there at the time, so it's kind of So basically knocking out all of that, and then around park hopper time, like I'd say 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, go over to the other park. And then...
So you're saying, let me stop you. You're saying you can hammer all this out by 11 o'clock if you get there at rope drop. You think you can hammer this out?
If you could hammer out Adventureland, New Orleans Square,
Uh-huh.
a little bit of Frontierland, and possibly Star Wars Land before 11, 12 o'clock.
And you're telling people you got to get the
Genie Plus.
Genie Plus, right, in order
would-
to do it.
I would say get the Genie Plus because it, of course, it stinks that you have to pay a little extra to do it. But it does pay off because if you want to go on a ride, let's say again, or if you, as you know, Garrett said, you don't want to wait in line for 2 hours for a ride, get the Disney Plus. That way you can plan out your day and say, cool, you know what, if I can't get on that ride, I'll go back later, so that you have that ready to go. So yeah, I think that you can get everything done reasonably. If you're lucky, but
I think you're also right to avoid Fantasyland there. Morning and midday in Fantasyland is so gridlocked and chaotic. You're absolutely right. And I don't know what it is about Peter Pan to this day. That attraction is like 40 seconds long and commands 2-hour long waits most of the time. Don't get me wrong. It's a great attraction, especially for...
It's great.
It is, yeah. You throw it back. It's very old school ride. It's a great feeling. You still, I feel the magic on it anytime I'm on it, but it's like 40 seconds long.
It really is.
Yeah,
go on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. At least it has a twist ending.
I love that ride.
Who doesn't
Who
love to be
doesn't?
sentenced to hell at the end of an attraction? It's the best part.
It really is.
Yeah.
Especially on a cold day, you want to go to hell. There you go.
Boy,
Always
it's
wanted to be
warm
hit
in
by a
here.
train.
That's right. Yeah, right. What? So you mentioned 11 o'clock crossover time. So you're saying go to California Adventure now.
I would go to California Adventure around that time, and then head over to check the wait times. Always use the Disneyland app. That always is the best because you can probably run over to Soarin', do that. Avengers Campus is usually my favorite place to start off at, so I usually do that, and then kind of go with the flow of the park in a way. But yeah, you can definitely get everything done. If you play your cards right and it's not like a crazy busy day, you most likely can get most of everything done. And then eat too. Eat and drink, because that's what I like doing.
Where would you stop off at it? Yeah, only have one day, so you gotta choose wisely here.
It is choosing wisely. As I said, I love Avengers Campus, so I would say Pim's is my favorite because they have this like really yummy shrimp salad that I just go crazy for.
Okay.
And then you can get a lovely, alcoholic beverage there just to numb your feet a little bit because you are walking, to parks during the day. And yeah, you can just relax there, watch an amazing Avengers show.
Amazing.
Come on now. Well, what more can you ask for?
I mean, you're right there in the heart of it all. And does our friend Manny still work there? I feel like I
think
saw
he
him at
does,
one
yeah.
point. Yeah, he's great. Always out there welcoming people.
Welcoming
people
With
into
open
Pim's
arms.
Test Kitchen. That's right. Well, very good. Thank you for that. It's a great way to spend a single day at the Disneyland Resort. Garrett, for somebody like yourself who doesn't get to come to Disneyland very often, it's not in your backyard. So when you do, this might literally be a situation you find yourself in, right?
I've actually done this a few times. I came out to... My dog just yawned. He wants to chime in.
Oh.
I did this back in 2018, I think. I had one day, and I was with Ariel, and we're like, you know what? We're doing Disneyland in one day. Let's do this sucker. So we stayed across the street at the Marriott, and then got up bright and early. We didn't hit rope drop right away. We were maybe like 30 minutes after it happened because Ariel was sleeping. But I go the same route. I run over a few families to get to Adventureland and say, this is my day, not yours. And I skip Jungle Cruise. I go straight for Indy because Indy, it's essential to my well-being.
To your well-being.
It's for my mental. It's for my mental health.
Yeah.
And I go on that, and I look into the eyes of Mara, and I just.
You're not supposed to.
You feel better.
It's so tempting. It's so tempting.
So you're the reason why that Jeep goes on a ridiculous course all the time.
Thank you for that.
I don't think the oil or the brakes have been tested very well. They're a little touchy. But do that, then go on Pirates, then go on Haunted, and then Splash isn't really there, so I skip. But even if it was, I'd skip Splash because if it's winter, I think it might be a little chilly. So I skip that, go on Big Thunder, and then I will absolutely follow, the advice of Taylor and go over to DCA because if it's park hopping time, boom, head over there. And I've never been to Avengers Campus, so I can't really say go that route, but I'll go on Mission Breakout because that is dope.
It's
is
so
dope.
cool.
Better, it's better than the original. I I think it's better than the original Haunted, not Haunted Mansion, sorry, Tower of
Tower.
Terror. And then from there, just go about my day. And I will go back and forth across the parks. When the Max Pass was around, I utilized that thing so well, and now it's not. So you got to use Genie
Rest in
Plus
peace.
service.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big fan of the Incredicoaster, so I'll skip that honestly. And if it's not soaring over California, it's just soaring around the world, I'll skip that because
Totally
soaring
agree.
over California is what you want to do. But
Mhm.
I will go back and forth between the parks a number of times. I'll spend a few hours at one park, a few hours at the other one because you've got one day. This is not a simple exercise. This is a gauntlet, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yep.
This is a gauntlet. So neither of you are going to Tomorrowland, Space Mountain, Toontown, Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. I didn't hear any of that.
I mean, you can do that in the later day. Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
My B, I will skip Toontown because it's always closed whenever I go there anyway.
Oh,
Like they're
okay.
getting ready for fireworks or something. Fantasyland, end of day, Storybook Canals in the evening, Matterhorn when I need a chiropractic appointment. I wait in line for Rocket Rods every single time, and they keep saying it's been gone for a decade, and that just breaks my heart.
Yeah, you're going to keep
But-
waiting.
It's gonna be a long time.
Like if I'm going from if I'm going to Disneyland, which is not near for me, I'll skip Galaxy's Edge because I can get that Disney World where I have an annual pass. Disneyland, I'm doing everything there I can't do at Disney World,
Makes
so
sense.
I'm gonna try and make the most of it. Grizzly River Run, absolutely, I will do that. I'll go. Well, Bugs Land isn't there.
Oh,
so
I miss
can't really
Bugs
do
Land.
Heimlich's Choo Choo Train.
Oh.
But
Beautiful
But
butterfly.
no, I'll try and do everything I can, but I try and hit those big ticket items that are nostalgic for me. If I can, then that's okay. But I want to hit everything I can, going Indy 4 or 5 times.
And if you got to choose a nighttime spectacular, Taylor, what are you choosing?
Well, I'm bummed because Fantasmic's not happening.
Yeah, so
But-
that one's excluded.
I would probably say the fireworks are my favorite. I'm actually going for one of the first times to go see this weekend. The World of Color, the new version.
Oh,
I
great.
haven't- Yeah. We every time we go, we've never been able to stay late, so we're finally going, and
It's
we're staying
happening.
late this weekend,
Yeah.
or next weekend. So I'm super excited. But I love the fireworks. I mean, especially behind the castle. Like, it's one of the most magical feelings. I say magical. This is magical. I cry literally at every show that I go to. I'm one
so
of those
weak.
people. I am
No,
a
I'm
weak
just kidding.
person. I'm so weak. It's bad. I'm
You're
always crying.
so kind, Wade.
I get choked up too. No lie, it is hard to sit through a fireworks show, especially towards that finale, and not feel
yeah.
something. You bet.
Right. So it's tough, but I would say the fireworks for sure. Just having that feeling down Main Street is amazing.
Yeah, pretty spectacular, and no doubt, many times where. Remember standing there in the center of the hub in front of the castle, and many summers ago, watching as Dumbo flew over the castle. And anytime Tinkerbell takes flight, there's always something very special about that on a warm summer's evening. Something very nostalgic about the feeling too. So no doubt, a spectacular to enjoy. Garrett, what are you doing? You have a nighttime spectacular of choice.
Yeah, Fantasmic was there. I'd probably do that because I remember seeing the dragon pop out for the first time. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And it's like 50 feet away, man. It's way closer than Hollywood Studios, which is a stupid crane. But
You gotta
I'm
hike a
gonna
mile
go
to get to
for-
the arena just to see
Oh.
Fantasmic there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's great. The only good thing is that there's seating, but I would rather stand and watch that. But I'm going to go World of Color because there's no other show quite like it at Walt Disney World. It is beautiful. It's magical. And I remember when they were putting it in and selling, they had all the concept art. I was blown away. And then seeing it actually for the first time, I was blown away just by the effects because it used the water mist screens that you saw in Fantasmic, but it took it to a whole nother level. And when you see the different elements, whether it's Star Wars, Buzz Lightyear, or Pirates of the Caribbean, you just lose it because it's just a work of imagineering magic. It really is. And like World of Color, it hits everything for me. And there's really great viewing no matter what. You don't have to be dead on. You can be from a certain angle because it seems like every time you watch it from a different spot, it's a different show. Kind of like how Illuminations was when it was at Epcot RIP.
R.I.P.
But
best.
yeah, World of Color, it's quite amazing, and I I miss not being able to see it as often as you Californians.
What can we say? It's a gift. Right in the backyard.
Yep.
Yep. Just to run on out and see it.
Literally.
Yep.
Yep.
Must be nice for me. It's just got to run on to the tarmac, hop in a plane, and
Couple hours later,
Hop, skip, and a jump.
here you be.
yeah, and then get in an LAX and take that nice $200 Uber ride.
You know what they call it? A therapeutic drive from LAX on into Disneyland Resort. Yeah, I mean,
That does sound therapeutic.
big,
does.
wide lanes, open roads, as Southern California is known for. Don't have to worry about a thing.
No.
Very tranquil. It's the perfect start to your getaway.
No traffic whatsoever?
No,
traffic.
we don't have traffic here. No.
Always something to remember. That's right. Well, we thank you both for chiming in on the best way to spend one day at the Disneyland Resort. You only have one day. What do you do? Now we want to hear from all of you. Share it down in the comments. How do you plan out a single day? If you only got that one shot, what are you doing? How are you maximizing your time? And what nighttime spectacular are you going with? Because it's very difficult to be able to split those two given the time frame between them. We would love to hear from you. Again, drop it down in the comments. All right, stick around. There is more Kingdom Report Live for you straight ahead. Remember those carefree days of childhood where the magic still existed? When you didn't feel guilty about eating mountains of cereal with, we'll just say, questionable nutrition? Well, now you can have your cereal and you can eat it too. Because Magic Spoon has re-engineered that same great taste with grown-up ingredients for an absolutely game-changing Cereal 2.0. Because it's high protein, low carb, and 0 grams of sugar in each serving. I know, it's hard to believe, but it also comes in 6 delicious flavors. Frosted, fruity, cocoa, cinnamon, blueberry, and peanut butter. Plus, they've got limited edition flavors released throughout the year, like gingerbread or peaches and cream. So taste that magic of childhood all over again and get yourself some Magic Spoon cereal. Plus, take $5 off your order at checkout. All you got to do is insert the promo code Kingdom Team. That's right, Kingdom Team at checkout will get you $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com. That's magicspoon.com. Promo code Kingdom Team. Kingdom Team All Call time. The return of the All Call is here. Your questions are answers, and this week we start with a question from Ty Evans. Ty asking the team, you tell us what you like all the time, but what are some of the things you're concerned about when it comes to the Disney parks right now? Here to talk about maybe some of their concerns when it comes to Disney parks, Taylor Kowalczyk, Garrett Hassel standing by to share their thoughts. Garrett, let's start with you. Some of the concerns you have about Disney parks at the moment, whether it be Disney World, Disneyland, or beyond.
My Universal Pass doesn't work there for some reason.
That is a problem, isn't it?
No. For me right now, I think it's I miss the old Fast Pass system. Honestly, like the Genie Plus system and the Lightning Lanes, it feels like a pay-to-play system where, like, hey, you want to enjoy the most of your day, you got to fork over a few, dollar bucks, as they say in Bluey, and then you can enjoy everything. So I'm not a big fan of how, in order to go to the front of the line and do all that, you have to pay a little bit more to get there. But it makes sense business wise for Disney to do that, because they're still making up losses from 2020 and beyond. So I don't like that. I like the old system, how it was like, hey, you get there, boom, 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 pick those 3, they run out. All right, what's next? Doom, doom, doom. And so that was always nice. At Disneyland, I missed the Max Pass. I thought that was a great steal, $10, and I got all this amazing stuff.
Introductory price.
Yeah.
As they call
But besides that, I just feel like a lack of attention to detail is going on, at least at Disney World, where I've seen paint chipping, I've seen things broken, I've seen, things aren't as clean as they used to be, or it seems that the cast members don't seem to care as much as they once would, or as they once did. Like when I worked there and my college program roommates worked there, we thought that the place was pristine, and maybe we were sipping the Kool-Aid a little bit, but it seemed like there was a lot more attention to detail, and just, the second something was off, it would be fixed. It would be on top of it. Well, here, you hear more about like residence Kylo Ren being on B mode than working all together, or you see B mode on the river journey for the Navi River journey over in Pandora. So I think there's been a lack of attention to the details, and that I think is what makes Disney is that they are so detailed and they get down to the most minuscule little things, where it's not just, oh, that's a blue wall, you can see little cracks and little things in there, or if you're walking through Fantasyland, you see the peanuts in the ground, or you see the horseshoe out, design in there, and I just don't seem to see the attention that used to be there. And it breaks my heart because I love all that stuff, because I wanted to be an Imagineer when I was a kid, and I love all the little intricacies, because anyone can, paint a wall blue, but only Disney can make that blue something extraordinary. Even on something like Cosmic Rewind, they have a giant show building, and you can see that sucker for miles because it is a giant warehouse. I think they could have designed that to make it look to fit more with the Epcot overall design. But who knows? That's why we're waiting for Tyler to get paid the big bucks as CEO, and then we can put our ideas towards him. But yeah, just they're pushing to make more money, and they've even increased parking prices. And then the attention to detail just in rides and cleanliness, I think it's lacking. But I still love the place, and I still have hopes that, things don't last forever. Things will return to the old values, and who knows? Maybe Bob Iger coming back is going to get things going, but we'll just have to wait and see.
You want to see that Guardians of the Galaxy box theme to something right alongside the golf ball, huh? Because they are pretty close together at certain angles. What would you want it themed as, that giant box?
They could just, if they get a McDonald's sponsorship, it could be a Happy Meal box right there. But no, I think they could have done something like they did the Go Away green and they did the sky blue color, which honestly it does blend at times. But I think they could have made it match the overall Guardians theme, or they could have. I don't know, structural design and all that stuff. Maybe Taylor can help me out with that, because she's an animator or something. But I think just some kind of cool design would have made it look so good. It's like what they did with Mission Breakout. Like they turned the Hollywood Tower of Terror into something amazing, and they didn't even use 3D pieces. Sometimes they just used the paint in a certain direction, and it made it look three-dimensional. So you can do something like that.
Absolutely.
If you can do that at DCA, you can do something like that in Florida, as long as a hurricane doesn't rip it apart.
Yeah, that's always the caveat, certainly. And Taylor, what do you think when it comes to some of the things you might be concerned about ranging in and around Disney parks? What comes to mind?
I mean, I agree with a lot of what Garrett was saying. Definitely the attention to detail, and especially when I was at Disney World last, I noticed that paint was chipping and things weren't just kept, and it was very sad to see that.
Yeah.
But Disneyland, I think that they do a little bit better of a job at keeping it a little bit more, up to par. But my biggest thing, and I love families and I love seeing kids running around, but stroller parking is taking over the parks. I feel like sometimes there's nowhere for you to walk because stroller parking is literally encroaching on walkways. Because I know that they, had where you had to have a certain size of a stroller that, you were allowed to
no
bring in.
wagons for the longest time, right?
And
No.
then for some reason they allowed people to start bringing them back
Saw
in.
that, yeah.
And I'm like, well, wait a minute. So
What was the point?
exactly. So
Yeah.
I do feel that that's one of the biggest worries that I have. And also, some of the original rides getting, revamped because of, issues with, cancel culture or anything like that. I worry about the ideals that Disney originally had kind of going away as, people do get older and, culture does change. I worry about that just a little bit. But yeah, the stroller parking for sure. I mean,
I thought at first
no.
Sorry, I thought at first you were going to say there's way too many children at Disney.
So there's too many kids, guys.
I'm like, childless
Biggest gripe.
millennials, we reign supreme.
Yes.
We need our own park.
The kids will have their chance. Ours is now.
Yes. We're adults, we're child adults, we
That's
have
right.
to live
Yeah.
our moment,
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's for sure.
But yeah, no, I love kids, love them. But yeah, it's just the strollers. It's the strollers.
I totally see that. Yeah, it's becoming more and more of a problem just in sheer geographical space. It's becoming a hassle all over the park. Disneyland is so landlocked, to begin with, and walkways there are very different from, say, walkways even at California Adventure. California Adventure is a much more open park. Exactly. It was designed that way because it's a more modern park, whereas Disneyland is very much intimate by way of the fact it was designed that way. It was designed to be a very intimate space where things were much closer together, and so it was not designed with the thought of, hey, there's going to be thousands of strollers in here at some point. Yeah. And I'm grateful to
not see that in 1955.
Exactly.
It's true. Well, and I've looked at old footage, like archive footage. Yeah. You really don't even notice strollers until the late 80s.
It's true. And they were smaller too.
Yeah, they're much more condensed. Smaller. Yeah, now they're SUVs.
Yeah.
These strollers are everywhere. And I know, when you're a family and strollers bring you so much relief when you have a lot of children. I get that. I completely understand. And nobody's saying like, oh, you're bad for bringing a stroller.
Absolutely.
It's more so of they're running out of places to put them. And so it's a Disney problem. It's not a you problem. It's a concern when it comes to the spacing of the park itself. And I've noticed that with the Toontown 2.0 revision, that they kind of had that in mind almost to a certain degree. Let's create more of a space to put these bad boys because we know it's going to be a problem back here. It's Toontown after all. It's going to attract all the tots more than it's going to attract the bigger folks. And therefore, the strollers are going to become problematic. So let's get ahead of that. And they did. And even there, to a certain degree, it becomes overwhelming at certain points in the day. And they created space for it. Yeah. So I think maybe in the future, having more spacing allotted to future projects and really thinking that through as an operational way of doing business moving forward is going to serve Disney quite well.
Absolutely.
You bet. And we roll on with the final question here today. Coming from Carly Girl 19, she says, you've mentioned many of you worked for the Mouse before. What did you love and what did you hate about being a cast member? Well, Carly Girl, we've all worked for the Mouse in this very show. Garrett, something you loved, something you didn't love so much about being a cast member?
Well, the role I had was I was a performer. So sometimes I didn't, people didn't know who I was always. I'm a performer. The thing I absolutely loved is that I had such a direct impact on people through what I was doing and, the characters I helped bring to life that it was such a humbling experience for me to realize, I don't need to be Garrett. I can bring to life whoever, whether I was in the Main Street Electrical Parade, I was holding a 80-pound pole, walking this sucker down, but I would wave at people and they'd be like, oh! They'd freak out and just be like, I got waved to, and they felt like they were a part of the show. So the ability to have that effect on people just through a wave and nodding a hat and the other characters I performed as, I loved it because it was I literally brought magic alive, and it was really, really cool. It was a unique experience that nothing else since then has given me quite this effect, other than this show where I get to share stories and, touch people through my stories. But the thing I probably didn't like is that you kind of get abused through the Disney system, and whether it's certain leadership and all that, where it's like, hey, the park hours got extended. So guess what? You're staying a little bit longer there. And sure, the OT's lovely at $10 an hour. Woo. But sometimes you just felt run down, and the magic can wear off. Luckily, it never wore off to the point where I was like, no, I'm done with this. Forget this. I hate Disney. The moment that would have happened, I would have said, you know what? I'd rather leave and have the magic be intact than for me to despise what I'm doing. So sometimes being overworked and just seeming like you're not appreciated by your leadership and, those above you at Disney, that can be sad. But overall, I would say I had a more enjoyable experience than a non-enjoyable experience.
Echoes of most workplaces, I would presume. And Taylor, something good, something not so great about being a cast member?
I kind of agree. Definitely being able to create magic every day was one of the best parts of my job. I mean, I was a food service worker, as you know, we worked together down Main Street. And even just working that, it was just a really great experience because you could make someone's day with the box of popcorn or a turkey leg or something like that.
Yeah.
But definitely the people that I met. I mean, I've been able to create relationships with people that, I mean, I would work there 12 years ago and I'm still in contact with them, as you know,
Yeah,
here we are.
There we are.
But something bad, I would have to say it is the corporate of Disney, you know, like that they are loving it first, you know, and they want you to be like, yay, Disney, oh right. And then then they bring the claws in, and then they basically feel like you feel like they own you in a way. And that was the only downfall that I had there. But I mean, if I was given the opportunity to work at Disney again, which I would love to again, I would do it in a heartbeat. I'm not saying that it was awful, because it really was a great experience. And one day I'd like to work for the mouse again, you know?
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's certainly a stone cold business at the end of the day. And I think that with all the warm and fuzzies that invite you in, there's always the harsh reality that they want to make their money. And unfortunately, being a part of that and representing it, you are sold very early on. This is going to be all the warm and fuzzies. You're going to drink the Kool-Aid. You are going to, hold that flag high. And many people do. And for those folks that maintain that even to this day, thank you, because you are why we love the company so much. But I completely understand that the overarching corporate function ends up becoming so problematic in the process, because at the end of the day, it's still a business and it's all about that money. So the warm and fuzzies do fade away pretty quick. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, thank you both for chiming in and sharing your experiences being cast members. No doubt you are in for a treat next week as we return to you with a new Kingdom Report Live. I can't believe it's already over, but it is. I want to thank you for joining us. As always, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you are subscribed to the Kingdom Report on YouTube. And if you are listening to us wherever you get your podcasts, thank you. Rate and review if you get a chance. It means an awful lot. Never forget, the legacy of Walt Disney lives on because of people like you and me, and we will see you next week for an all-new edition of Kingdom Report Live.